It's the worst unrest to hit the northern Kashmir region in years. 17 people have now died from this week's cross-border violence between India and Pakistan. Well, tens of thousands of civilians living on both sides of the border have been forced to flee their homes. And New Delhi has accused Islamabad of instigating the tit-for-tat shelling that began on Monday, warning Pakistan would pay a high price if the fighting goes on. Well, we can cross now to France 24's Sirabi Tandon, who's standing by for us in New Delhi. Now, Sirabi, tell us, we heard from the Pakistan's defense minister earlier today. What's the latest in that you can tell us?
Well, actually, the first aggression that happened at the border was 9 days ago. So it's been quite a while that the soldiers have been exchanging heavy gunfire. We've been seeing reports that 19 civilians have already been killed, with dozens more injured. As you mentioned, many people are being evacuated. In fact, 18,000 people from the Indian side of the border have already been taken inward and made to leave their homes. But perhaps what is the most important takeaway from this situation is that in the past, whenever there's been an exchange of fire between the two countries, the commanders of both armies usually meet at the border and sort out the discord at their level. This is the first time that the Indian government has instructed its army to not engage in any dialogue with the Pakistani commanders. They believe that Pakistan is the aggressor, and Pakistan, of course, blames India. And while the source is unknown, what is important is what is being said by the ministers across the borders. Now, the Indian defense minister, for example, has issued an extremely strongly worded statement saying that India actually will not be afraid to step up the aggression should Pakistan not stop the firing at the border. Now, this is particularly surprising because it wasn't so long ago that the Prime Minister of Pakistan was here in India at the swearing-in ceremony of Narendra Modi. And at that time, actually, both heads of states issued many public statements saying that they would, in fact, be stepping up diplomatic efforts to improve relationship between both the countries.
Now, Sirabi, of course, many people are looking to see how new Prime Minister, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, how he will react, of course, to this ongoing situation in the disputed area. Yeah. Well, I mean, see, on the one hand, as we've been reporting, Narendra Modi has made huge efforts in terms of his improving diplomatic relations with many countries. He's been visiting America, Japan, talking with other Southeast Asian countries, including Pakistan, as I mentioned. He's also been talking a lot about international peace and security and India's role in the current climate. But on the other hand, his own party ideology and, in fact, his campaigns have centered around this notion of Indian nationalism and patriotism. And so at least domestically, it is expected that he is going to take quite a hardline stand on this issue. In fact, a couple of hours ago in one of his speeches, he has said that he stands against and completely promotes what his soldiers are doing at the border. And in fact, he wants them to respond with the trigger and not with any dialogue. So we will have to watch out quite carefully for how the Indian government plans on responding to this situation at the border over the next couple of days. Sirabi Tandon reporting from New Delhi. Thank you for that update.